Wednesdays!
Go for it.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Warehouse Wednesdays. We are here today in the warehouse to get started on the project that you guys chose and selected. And which one was that? What are we doing?
Show them which piece we're going to paint.
I
We
think
have
a little helper today.
Show them which piece we are going to paint.
This one. So number 2 won by a landslide. So you guys, thank you for getting involved in voting. We are going to be refinishing this, and Amber was at Sawdust Dreams.
Yes.
And with Miss Lori.
Miss Lori, she
Yeah.
owns it. It's in Gainesville in Thornbrook Village.
Yeah. She's
And
great. If you guys
she
have
is
never been
great.
in there, you got to go. It's such
She's
a cool
actually from
store.
Stark, so a lot of you probably know her. So I like to call her a local.
Yeah.
And she has this really cool furniture paint. And she paints, I think, everything in her store that you see painted. Miss Lori does it herself and her sister Michelle. And they use this vintage furniture paint, which I've used it. I used it on the pieces that were in Kayla's house. And it's really, really cool.
Because you were telling me this one, if you guys have ever experimented with chalk paint. So, well, before we go there, like, this is kind of the vibe we're going for. We want to be able to share the products that Amber uses and kind of talk about them. So we're going to be giving you some instructions on this specific paint. The reason that Amber likes to use this particular brand of chalk paint is because it doesn't have to be waxed after.
Right. So a lot of
Yeah.
the other chalk paint that you use, you know, chalk paint is known for being really easy and you don't have to prime, which is awesome. That's
Right.
why a lot of people like it, plus the chalky finish. But what's cool about this kind is that you don't have to wax it. So other chalk paint, if you don't wax it, it will chip or like it's, I don't know, it just gets
The finish
messed up
doesn't last as
easily.
long.
Right.
Right.
So with this, you don't have to do anything. You literally make sure your piece is clean and you paint it and
Okay.
you're done.
So the way that we're going to work on this today is we're just going to kind of show you us getting it ready to paint, and we're not going to, I don't think we're going to reveal what exactly it's going to be yet.
Not yet.
So, but if you have any ideas as you're watching us paint, feel free to put it in the comment section below, because we'd love to hear you guys chime in and give us what you think this is going to be turned into. And we're going to be working on this piece probably for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, maybe. We might get it done faster.
Okay, and then, you know, but you'll see it progress, and then we'll move on to another project.
Yep.
So that's kind of where we're going to go with this. But yeah, do you want to go ahead and start getting it ready to paint, and then we can come back and pour paint?
Sure.
Okay, all right, cool. So we've already prepped this side, but what do we have to do to get it ready?
Okay, so first we're going to take the hardware off because we're going to replace it anyways, but also because you don't want to have to paint around anything. So...
And are you going to use this same hardware again, or are you going to...
No, I don't think I'm going to use this just because, I mean, I could paint it and reuse it, but I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to find a new.
Make it fresh. That's an easy fix. Like, changing up hardware can change the entire look of anything.
Definitely.
Kitchen, any kind of piece of furniture, and it's such an easy thing to do.
How did you get that off so easily earlier?
So, I've been going to the gym. No, so I just took these and lifted them,
Well, you're a lot stronger than me apparently.
and then I just popped this out.
Oh wait,
and
this
went,
one's on. Okay. There we go.
Bam.
Pop that out. We're going to pop these glass shelves out because we're also not going to use these in here.
Okay.
And there we go.
Alright, so, and then basically we just are gonna, is that what this is for? To wipe?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, this isn't the baby's blanket, is
No.
it?
Oh my gosh, I can't freaking this is on. What have I done?
Mic break!
I keep going to like adjust stuff and then pulling it off. Okay, sorry.
So, alright, so then you just gonna simply kind of wipe it off and make sure you got all the dust and grime and everything off.
Hey baby, let's move that.
And I feel like with this, it's good because you don't really have to worry about, because wood cleans so easily with just polish or dust in, so you don't even have to worry about wetting it. So you
Oh,
can
yeah.
go straight to painting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure it's not dirty. Like
Right.
we actually.
Like if it's been sitting in a garage for a while.
Right. Or if you had to bust out a shelf, which we probably should have filmed.
Oh yeah, that was kind of funny.
So there's a lot of dust and splinters in there.
Debris.
Yikes.
Debris.
Okay, while Mitchell's
Ooh.
cleaning that, I'll pour the paint. Oh, I guess I should shake it up first. Shake, shake, shake.
And I get my roller.
You're gonna help us roll it on?
Paint, paint, paint.
And paint, paint, paint. Learning early. Alright, so once you have everything cleaned up,
So a lot of people use paint brushes, which sometimes I use paint brushes too, but these foam rollers, especially for a big piece that has a lot of surface area, a foam roller will make it
Faster.
not only faster, but you won't have brush strokes.
Right. And
So-
sometimes you want that look, but if you want like a more of an even finish, then
Right.
this would be the best way to go about doing it.
Okay, let me put it down here and we're all going to share.
So Kyle, listen, Mitchell's wearing all black, so we're gonna be very careful, right?
Oh, she's going to be so careful.
What a day to forget your work overalls. So,
So basically, we're gonna put one coat on. Then with this paint, you have to make sure that it's completely dry. Because if you go back over a spot that's not dry, just because of the kind of paint it is, it'll pull the paint back off.
got it.
So you're gonna make sure every single coat dries
It's
completely.
completely dry. Usually how many coats does it take?
Well, because we're doing white, it's probably gonna take 3-ish, I'm
Can I
guessing.
paint it like
If we were doing a dark color like black,
Can I
it
paint it like
would probably only take 2.
The roller's not rolling. But we're just gonna fake it.
Okay. So now we're just gonna.
And first coat is done. So, inexpensive but a little time consuming.
Yeah.
But anything worth having in life is kind of, right?
Definitely.
So,
It's worth the time to redo it than to go buy.
right. You're going to spend the amount of time that you spent working to make the money to buy new furniture, you literally spend half the time, and it's super creative and different than everybody else's. So, your kids are so cute in the background. They're like running around, and now they're fighting. Love them.
Probably gonna wrestle soon.
But basically, check back next week because we are going to be going into step 2 on this piece next week, and we should have it completely finished. And then big shout out to Sawdust Dreams, and I'm gonna grab the paints. Big shout out to Sawdust Dreams and Vintage Furniture Paint, which is really cool because we're not gonna have to wax this when we finally get all the coats done. So,
And although the, first coat always looks like this.
right.
So if you've never painted furniture before and you decide to go get the paint and do it, and you do your first coat and you're like, oh my gosh, I made a huge mistake. This looks terrible. Just know it's gonna get better.
And make sure that your roller rolls.
That was Mitchell's excuse of why I had to go over his section.
Listen, I would like to point out that Mitchell's very creative and I know how to paint. So, I usually don't do it with 2 kids though. Like, you win that award.
I do.
You win that award, Superwoman. So, basically, but yeah, check out Vintage Furniture Paint at Sawdust Dreams. Tune back in next Wednesday. We're going to probably have the second coat on this, and we're going to do step 2. And if you guys kind of have an idea of where Amber is going with this piece, don't forget to drop it in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and share our video. Thank you for tuning in to Warehouse Wednesday. We'll talk to you guys next week.